Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, letting my ex-husband drown in attorney fees. A picture is worth 1,000 burns. 23 years ago, I lent my baby brother $3,000 with only one condition: you're in charge of the payment plan. Soon enough, he told me he was too busy for that, and forced me to take charge of the accounting. I decided to add on a 20% asshole tax. Here's the whole story. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Letting my ex-husband drown in attorney fees. After 5 years of marriage and endless false promises, I finally get my personal revenge. My ex-husband, 32, and I, 33, got married in 2017 after 1 year of long-distance relationship between the US and Germany. We sealed the deal, got married in the US, and he wanted me to live with him in the good old US of A, because he didn't want to learn another language. To make things easier, he moved in with me in Germany for a job I helped him to get, so we would have time to finalize my plans for emigration and immigration. Now my ex didn't even got started to gather all required documents for himself to be my sponsor. Said and done, I had all documents well sorted out, cancelled all my contracts, sold my belongings, sent large parts of my things to the US, and said goodbye to my lovely home, friends and family. Little did I know, my ex-husband did not do a single bit of research or even did his part for my immigration process, and I wasn't able to set foot on the plane that would bring me to my new home. Long story short, he left to the US without me, and I was homeless, with a suitcase and 2 cats. He continued to lead me on with promises to come and get me. Meanwhile, he started a polyamorous affair. Later, he got involved with a 21-year-old young lady. I lived with my parents for a few months to get back on my feet, find a new apartment and a new source of income. Now, I never went to German officials to get our marriage recognized in Germany, mostly because I didn't think it was necessary, because we planned to live together in the US. But my laziness should be proven to be useful later. Since he was with his new girlfriend, 21, I broke up the relationship. In the US we still count as married, and focused on myself, regaining my independence and rebuild my life in my home country. I fell in love with an acquaintance, 31, I've known for 13 years, and we soon found that we have very much the same goals in life and the very same ideals and wishes for a monogamous life. Meanwhile, I'd been in contact with my ex to finally get him to start the divorce in the US. Since the marriage was closed in the US, only a US citizen is able to petition for the divorce at the district court. I didn't want my name to be further affiliated with him, and I also didn't see the reason why he should further profit from tax benefits. I made clear I didn't want this anymore and wanted to move on. Finally, he got a process started and forgot one single thing. I am not an American citizen. So everything that applies in the US when it comes to paperwork doesn't apply to me in Germany. Means serving me via email? Nope. Wanting me to sign something electronically? Nope, not possible. All they would have to do is to send me the notarized, signed and translated paperwork via physical mail. But they don't. So I get email after email with pleas to get me to sign the US divorce papers electronically. With every mail his lawyer sends me, his pay ramps up. Don't get me wrong, I certainly told the lawyer what he has to do in order to get me to sign a legally significant piece of paper, but I guess he doesn't know international laws. So at this point my ex still sits on all of my belongings I asked him to give back, and since he doesn't do that, I'll keep collecting spam mails from his lawyer. That's my personal revenge for leading me on, using my hopeless romantic heart and leaving me alone when things went hard. I don't count as married in Germany and am currently expecting a little baby boy with my partner, and we are building a life together without false promises. Edit. Wow, I didn't thought I'd get much of a response. For some I'm stupid, an idiot, and for some I did get myself into that situation. Which is fine to claim, but I never denied accountability. I learned my part, and just because the marriage just gets divorced in the US, because he has to file for it, doesn't mean we haven't been separated for much longer. Was I stupid? Yes, absolutely. Am I wrong for moving on with a new partner with 33? No, absolutely not. Edit 2. I will report threats to me and my life immediately. You are entitled to your opinion and nobody is keeping you from voicing this opinion under this post. But threatening me over DM is a new low, dear Inkels. You really think I'm scared of some internet basement dwellers? Dude, I've been on 9gag and you think a threat could somewhat intimidate me? A picture is worth 1,000 burns. So, I had been with Ben for 18 years before I'd finally had enough and asked for a divorce. He moved several hours away near his mom. Also meant he left me to raise our kids by myself with little child support and never seeing the kids. I decided it was time to have a family portrait done as it had been a while. We went and had a sitting. As we were looking through the digital images to pick out what to order, my oldest asked if we could send one to Grandma, his mother. I told her that I didn't think Grandma would want a picture worth me in it, but I would be happy to order her a picture of just the kids on it. My oldest swore Grandma would want me in the pics and always made sure to ask about me and how I was doing. Heard from Ben's best friend that he hated the fact his mom told him he screwed up the best thing that ever happened to him and that she still remained friends with me on FB. I was kind of surprised. My ex was extremely verbally and emotionally abusive to me during our marriage, which is why I ended it. I never knew his mom actually thought so highly of me. Only ever saw her a couple days a year at Christmas. No issues, just never grew close. So my oldest calls up Grandma right there in the studio and asks her if she'd want a picture with me in it or with just the kids. Grandma asked specifically for a picture with all of us, including me. So, I decided to order her a nice glossy 8x10 that I had matted and framed and mailed that to her. Apparently she hung it right in the entryway, where every time my ex walks in, he sees my smiling face staring back at him. LOL. I just wish I could have seen the expression on his face the first time he saw it. 23 years ago, I lent my baby brother $3,000 with only one condition: you're in charge of the payment plan. Soon enough, he told me he was too busy for that, and forced me to take charge of the accounting. I decided to add on a 20% asshole tax. Here's the whole story. I'm the middle child in my family, and it shows. Alcohol/drug use, violence, punk rock, I mean, you name it. I was even a guest of the county for a month back in 2005. At 19, I joined the service, got booted out, spent a year around the country, USA, and fell into the offshore life. Meaning, I got a job working with the oil rigs. It suited me, this work hard/play hard kind of lifestyle. I had a decent IQ, but completely ADHD. Working offshore? It was my sweet spot. I grasped the mechanics of the job quick, was happy to teach the youngsters, rarely spoke, and voila. Within 4 years, I was the boss, making serious bank. I mean, I hit my sweet spot. Close to 6 figures at 29. My little brother, Nicky, never left our hometown and thought I spent my time dealing drugs or prostituting myself or something. He could not conceive of anything outside of HS college job mortgage. After 6 years of my oil rig work, Nicky decided to get married. By now, he had joined the US Army, enlisted at 26, despite having college degree. He was clueless with money and needed dollar not just for the wedding, but for flying his bride to the US. He got what was more or less a mail order bride. He asked to borrow $3,000, but I told him my wedding gift was $2,000. Not satisfied, he asked to borrow $3,000 more. Knowing his poor money management, I begrudgingly agreed, but I had only one requirement. I told him, you are in charge of the payback, not me. I do not want to have to keep track of how much you paid and how much you still owe. I want a monthly statement for every payment. My one requirement. You are responsible for paying me back this money. Not me. Nicky swore 1,000 oaths that he'd take care of it. This lasted about 5 payments. I mean, $200 per month for 15 months is not a hard thing to monitor, especially when Uncle Sam will set up the payment plan for free. But Nicky couldn't be bothered. Within 5 payments, he was already claiming to forget how much he already paid me. When I reminded him he'd paid less than half the money he owed, he made some snide comments about me ripping him off. Every reminder about him being in charge of the balance was replied with how busy he was to keep track of this shit. I was furious at this point, having insisted he take the lead in the repayment of the loan, my only requirement, only to have him try to pass it along to me within 6 months. So, take over the repayments I did. I was in the US, he was in some shitty country overseas. I copied all of his receipts, kept a running tally, and decided to add on an extra $600. He threw a tantrum with about half the remaining payments, but he paid them. I got my money, eventually. It wasn't worth all the bullshit tea I had to go through. I told this story to all of the family members, and little Nicky hit 3 of them up for a loan, only to be denied. He whines to this day that I turned the family against him. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.